Good morning, everybody. Tuesday, October 9th, 9 a.m. Eastern. We have a beautiful SPY setup. This is exactly what I wanted to see happen, just in the sense that we have very clear levels. If we had opened higher, it would be a bit confused, not big, a bit uncertain as to whether or not the bulls could follow through with real volume. Here we have a beautiful equilibrium. So the setup has been the same 3 days in a row. Afternoon bounce, the next day unable to get any follow through, breaking resistance, bear move. Afternoon bounce, unable to break resistance, bear move. Afternoon bounce, unable to break resistance, but a different setup this morning, and anticipating a higher low is going to form this morning, and it's already starting to do so. I would have preferred if we started bearish, and that would have given us a good entry opportunity to bottom fish these support levels. But because of the magnitude of the bounce in the afternoon yesterday, we can anticipate a higher low is going to form. Now, where we break from here, it's anybody's guess. I do have a bullish lean, but I'm going to have to wait to see follow through and confirmation for justification of that bullish lean. But we need to see a break of 282 or make that 288.22 and then up to 288.19. So that's pretty much, actually, no, this is the level. So 288.22 and then 288.36. Those are the two resistance levels that will be a significant break and put us to the highest price we've seen in quite some time. And that will also confirm the hourly trend change with the higher low and then break of the lower highs. If we cannot break those levels and we fade back and break the low pre-market, the bears have complete control and we look to the low of yesterday as the next level. And again, the setup, I'm going to be a broken record again this morning for all these individual names because the setup is so similar on pretty much every major name that has correlation to the S&P 500. We're seeing this setup. And QQQ, same setup. And I literally went through the whiteboard this morning and it took about a dozen tickers before I found the first name that did not fit that setup. And it was Apple, just because Apple already broke the lower highs yesterday and it's still seeing the same setup other than that. So it's the same setup is the bottom line with everybody. Looking at the daily chart for SPY. So we're looking to start the day with an inside bar, and we have to break bullish and see continuation in order to see bullish follow through. Otherwise, it's a daily inside bar or a bear break. All about the hourly. I don't know how many times I've been saying that. You're probably sick of it the last few days, but it's just so clear over the last 3 days to use this hourly as our guide. So dollar on the daily, higher low established and continuation. Bull break over 96.12. Not by much, only got up to 96.16, so the bulls will want to see some follow through above that. Healthy consolidation at this point, no red flags. Little healthy pullback on the hourly. So the dollar bulls are still in control. Gold is still seeing weak, but I like the higher low attempt here and the potential that that's our higher low now for gold. So let's keep an eye on bull miners and see if they form a higher low as well. And we'll have a 4-hour equilibrium to be watching here on gold into this morning. Key resistance 1191.84. Key support is 1185.01. Oil on the daily chart, nice follow through from the bullish reversal candlestick. It was healthy daily consolidation. We tested exponential 12-period support, and then we saw some follow through from the bulls this morning. 4-hour trend has not changed. We're breaking some resistances, but we need the higher low and then higher high confirmation, and this move is all one straight shot on the 4-hour time frame. So keep that in mind. We will likely need to see a higher low form on this 4-hour time frame, and if we break this inside bar that's currently forming bearish, that will be an initial signal that oil consolidation is coming. Natural gas is also pulling back after significant follow through first thing this morning. Hourly chart, healthy consolidation at this point, still hourly higher lows. If we were to break 3279, that would change. But as of right now, 3278 actually. But as of right now, the bulls are still holding that. It's a significant pullback, but let's see if the bulls are able to maintain the hourly uptrend. Any kind of consolidation that we see on the daily time frame will be healthy, as 311 was our last higher low. And we'll see how the hourly chart responds. I like the hourly for the best view on what natural gas is doing. Cryptocurrency still pulling back. Bitcoin from that quote-unquote bull break yesterday that got no follow-through. So significant consolidation, but it's on declining volume. We are still looking for a 4-hour higher low, but this is just a setup to give us a 4-hour equilibrium into tomorrow at least, and the potential of just continued tightening range and not much going on is still there. Volatility is significantly dropping off of the cryptocurrency space, and some people are speculating that that's intentional, done by the powers that be to increase the odds of an ETF by decreasing all that volatility and having it be a bit more stable. There's certainly no weight behind that. That's just speculation, but an interesting idea. Either way, the bottom line is we're really tight and it's really boring in cryptocurrency, and we'll be waiting patiently for some real breaks and some real follow through. Ethereum's doing the same thing, just sideways on the daily chart. Look at the sizes of the ranges on the daily time frame and look back. Historically, there's been a few periods where it's small like that, but this is probably the most extended, smallest range that we've seen in at least a year in the cryptocurrency space, probably a year and a half at this point. Plays I'm watching today, I'm watching all the major names. I'm watching Amazon, Netflix, Google. I'm watching everybody on the hourly time frame. If they can break it bullish, I will take one of the names bullish, perhaps Amazon, because it is one of the most significant lead bulls of the tech sector. So I will be watching Amazon if we get an hourly trend change for the bulls. If we get an hourly bear break and we head back down to the lows, I'll be watching the potential of playing SPXS. I traded SPXS a few times yesterday. And we're going to be watching Canadian MJ, highlighting ACB and the bull break on the daily time frame. We're going to see a gap up open because ACBFF traded yesterday while Canada was closed. And we're watching a lack of resistance on this chart for ACB. So ACB and CGC both on high watch with news coming out this week, to start the week, I should say, and the date of first sales in about 6 trading days. So definitely keeping an eye on that sector as well. Let's get into morning setups. RARE. So daily chart is an inside bar. A break of 75.64 is bullish. Break of 72.67 is bearish. So if we break bullish, that shows us an hourly higher low and then break of the lower high pattern to give us the trend change. That'll turn the hourly 20 period back into support. So need to break that level first things first, and then 78.51 is the next resistance after that. Key support short term, 72.67 must hold, or the bears are right back in full control. Keeping in mind that even if we do get a bull break on this time frame, that the daily chart favors the bears overall, and we're battling exponential resistance, which has rejected the price the last 4 days in a row. So it's certainly not smooth sailing if we break this level. There's still a lot of levels on the daily time frame to be watching, but a nice tight hourly setup heading into the open like so many individual names. So for Netflix, higher low on the hourly is now 342.20. Have to hold that level for the bulls, and resistance to break is 351.43. And as long as we're within these tightening hourly ranges, I'm going to be sitting on my hands and waiting patiently and not trading aggressively at all. And it might wait until midday, end of the day, before we get some clarity on this hourly time frame. So it's possible I might not trade this morning, although I will be looking to buy the dip on CGC and ACB if we do see profit taking in the first 15-20 minutes of trading this morning. MU, hourly setup is the same, but it's a bit weaker than other names. So I'm looking down at support of 42.61. The lower pre-market is 42.59, so a double bottom at those levels. And for the bulls to break the lower highs, have to get over 43.41. And if we can't break that level, it's just continuous lower highs on the hourly. And that has been the case for multiple days. These bounces, we cannot believe them. We cannot trust the bulls until they change the trend on the hourly. Baidu, same thing. So we're looking for a higher low compared to 199.68. Support after that is 198.19. And in order to see follow through for the bulls, they have to break 204.63. They did break the lower high pattern yesterday on the hourly. Now they need to see some follow through. So both Baidu and Baba, a little bit of a different setup. They were weaker the past couple of days, but their bounce is starting and it's developed the most compared to the other names so far. But it is still correlated to everybody else. We're still pulling back just like everybody else this morning, even though we did get that bull break yesterday. PYX, got to be very cautious. Names like this, it's pretty much a game of hot potato. And people want to get in on the huge gains to the upside. And there's eventually going to be the rug getting pulled out. And if you're stuck holding that potato, when the rug gets pulled out, you're going to be subject to a 10, 20, 30% loss, unless you're using stop losses, of course. But it's a game where just everybody goes in for the hype. And it's when it, circles around on social media and stock twits and everybody's running this low cap name and Citron's talking about it. We see it time and time again, and it's just an extremely high risk, high reward play. At this point, it's still all bulls. I would not be caught dead buying into this gap up open. And if I were in a trade right now, there's no reason to sell yet because the 5-minute uptrend is still intact. Breaking 45.26 and 45.25 would be the first red flag for bulls, losing the 5-minute uptrend. So that's the key support level as far as resistance goes. It's 46.90, 47, 48, 49. Psychological resistances after that. And it's just all about when does the rug get pulled? When does the significant profit taking step in? And how hard can these bulls run this ticker? AAL. Trying to get an oversold bounce going. One of the least developed oversold bounces yet, but a little bit of pre-market strength has us trying to break some resistance levels. Bulls breaking 36.85 would be significant. If we can get over 36.85, the bounce is clearly underway. Otherwise, it's just a lower high. And on the daily chart, we've seen lower highs 7 days in a row now. So have to break that everyday lower high pattern, and that level is 36.85. As far as support goes, pretty much the low of yesterday is the last clearest support established, 35.60. That's a must-hold level for the bulls. Update the lower Bollinger Band at the open. It's been driving the price down on the daily chart 2 days in a row. Facebook, same setup as everybody else. Higher low is the low of pre-market at 156.02. Bulls need a break of 158.04 to break the hourly lower highs. Tightening hourly pattern, same as everybody else, same as SPY. So SPY low pre-market, a must-hold level. High of the bounce in the afternoon yesterday, key resistance. CGC. So when a key resistance level breaks pre-market, I certainly make note of it, but I have to see it break during regular trading when the volume really matters. Because again, interests can do what they want with prices pre-market much easier than they can during regular trading hours. So for the bulls to really prove themselves, they need to break 51.21 in regular trading. And then I'm also looking at, after 51.21, we had, let's see, there was another level mixed in there. I believe it was 51.36. Let me double check. Nope, just 51.21. And a lack of resistance after that level, aside from the high pre-market. So 51.21 and then 51.80. And the bulls keeping control. Again, watching for potential profit taking at the open. And we'll be looking for bulls buying the dip on that profit taking. NBEV. So NBEV with weakness yesterday, weakness again pre-market, continued sell-off, breaking the low of 686. Well, not yet. We're testing it. So 686 key support first thing. If we break that level, key on the daily next is 643. Just clear hourly lower highs. The high of the afternoon bounce attempt, 755. Anything under that is a lower high. And the bears are keeping control after the significant sell-off yesterday. And it's all about the test of the low of yesterday first thing, potential bottom fishing play. But the bears certainly have momentum in their favor right now. FNJN. So extremely tight on FNJN after the bull break yesterday. Trying to pull up the daily chart. So daily inside bar is very likely to form today. 554 is resistance. 457 is support as far as the daily range. So keep an eye out for the daily inside bar, but we are extremely tight on the hourly, so we could look for a break. Key support is 515. Key resistance is 524. Tons of tops, 524, 525. So break of 525 would be bullish, but I would be surprised to see the bulls able to break 554 after breaking 524. So keep in mind that even if we get a bull break, we could still see a daily inside bar and a tightening range. But it is very, very tight here heading into the open today, and we'll see which direction breaks first. But either way, daily inside bar is a more likely scenario, and we'll know in the first 20 minutes, depending on how much volatility and how much range we see, whether that is still the highest probability. TLRY. Hourly resistances trying to change the trend, 143.59, 145.80. So it is still clear hourly lower highs. We are seeing strength pre-market. Bulls have to prove it during regular trading and break 143.59. We're going to test that level first thing. And then again, 145.80. If we are unable to break those levels, we're looking down at 140 and 136.05 as two support levels. The daily chart is extremely tight for TLRY. It is a daily inside bar, and that 145.80 level is the high of yesterday. So we're going to test that high of the daily inside bar first thing. The daily middle Bollinger Band is also support that continues to ascend, and key resistance test. We'll see if the bulls are able to follow through. SQ. So SQ is one of the weaker names with the hourly setup. We already broke the low of yesterday, 83.55. Dropped down to 82.80, a new support level. And the high of the bounce is our lower high on the hourly, 87.11. Anything under 87.11 is just a lower high. And at this point, the daily support of 81.53 is approaching. That's a key daily support level. And I am going to be watching SQ for a potential bullish entry today, especially if SPY breaks that hourly tightening pattern bullish. I'll be looking for SQ to get some upside as well. There was tons of great volatility in SQ yesterday. I traded it a few times, and I will be watching it again today. Whenever I have a couple names, GE and SQ recently, but it's an always rotating list of names that I keep on my screen, and I don't have any, set game plan for them, but I know that they're going to have high volatility during the trading day. So I can look in, 20 minutes into the morning, check the 2-minute, 5-minute tightening time frames, see if there's a clear trade setup. And there's just, when we have names like this that have a lot of volatility, there's oftentimes lots of patterns that develop on the shorter term time frames during the day that aren't visible at all pre-market. So again, it's not something that I'm planning for before the open, but it is something that I check in on multiple times throughout the day to see if that clear trade setup does present itself. LLY, all bull on the hourly. Bulls want to keep the daily higher low pattern. We've been seeing daily higher lows every day for a while now. So 114.77 is support, 116.61 resistance looking to be tested first thing. And if we break that level, we'll be looking up at 117 psychological after it. Bulls in full control on the daily and the weekly, and losing the hourly uptrend would tell us healthy daily consolidation is coming after the 3-day breakout that we've been seeing. But bulls still strong pre-market. Key resistance test coming up. GoPro. Tightening up. Daily inside bar yesterday, 615 support, 650 resistance, and we're right in the middle of that range. So we'll see how we break this daily inside bar. And bulls need to change the hourly trend. Lots of lower highs 5 days in a row. Have to break this daily inside bar bullish and break 650 resistance. 667 comes after that. GE. GE's losing the hourly uptrend a bit here. Still got the hourly 20 period, but we need to be cautious of pullback. Looking at support of 1353 and 1346. Resistance 1377 and 1389. So lose this hourly uptrend, lose the 20 period, and we'll look for healthy daily consolidation. We've bounced on the daily the last 5 days. The low was 1177, and we got all the way up to 1380s here. So pretty much a 18% move in the last 5 days. So we are looking for the potential of the loss of the uptrend on the hourly to indicate healthy consolidation is coming. And if we cannot break the high of yesterday, 1364, well, it looks like we're right there. That would be a top fishing play if we can't break 1364, but odds do favor the bulls able to break that level. But that doesn't mean we're going to see significant continuation. I would be cautious in scouting a bearish entry on GE if I had no position. GM. GM closed strong yesterday, up at the high of the day, 34.27. We're going to test that early on, have to break that for continuation. After 34.27 is 34.51. Pretty tight range over the last 3 days. Looks like we've been struggling at the hourly 200 period resistance. Need to turn that into support. We've been in a channel between the 100 and the 200 period on the hourly pretty much for 4 days in a row. So need to see some clarity and follow through breaking that channel. SPY is an inverted head and shoulders. Good eye. Everybody's an inverted head and shoulders on the hourly. EBIX trying to bounce anything under 63.46 is just a lower high. All out dump yesterday. Free fall, falling knife. Let's find the next support. So support is going to be 57.65, the low of yesterday. Bulls are off to a good start to hold that low. So daily inside bar is likely today. The question is, can the bulls break 63.46, or is it just going to form an hourly lower high? So the oversold bounce is underway, but keep in mind we've already seen a pretty much a 5% plus bounce during extended hours. So the bounce is already starting. The hourly RSI is no longer oversold. So I personally, if I were looking for an entry here, I would like to see a lower high compared to 63.46, a pullback, and then a bottom fishing entry off of 57.66 support. That would be my ideal kind of entry on this setup. IQ. IQ solid bull day yesterday. Anything under 27.38 is a lower high on the daily, so we're still not even close to breaking the daily downtrend. High of yesterday has to break first thing, 26.50, so that's a resistance to be watching. And key support on the hourly is 26, so the range right now is 26 to 26.50, keeping in mind that we are still in a clear daily downtrend as long as 27.38 is resistance. WMT. WMT, lower high pattern on the daily. Anything under 95.61. We're going to test that today, it looks like. 95.61 key resistance. This is healthy weekly consolidation. We're just looking for a daily trend change for the bulls to say, all right, we're done this weekly consolidation, and the bulls are ready to show back up. So it's all about 95.61, and it does look like we could have the potential to break these daily lower highs today and start this weekly move back up towards that $100 level. Hourly support, we don't have anything very clearly established, but I'm looking at the end of the day, 94.66 as a key support level, and it looks like we are seeing a gap up open, so need to see the bulls hold the 20-period 5-minute moving average to keep full control on the gap up open. If we lose that level, we will see a bit of profit taking at the open. Key daily resistance test on WMT today. FLDM. Dropped down to a lower low on the daily yesterday, breaking 736 support, but only by a penny, so it is a double bottom. 735 must hold today, and the bulls need to break 746 to start the shift in momentum. 746 and 762 are resistances. It's a potential bear flag on the hourly. If we break 735, the next support level is down at 734 and 704. So a lot of space after 734 support. So Baba on the hourly time frame, weakest name I've looked at this morning, easily, out of major names. Complete dump down to lower lows. Anything under the afternoon bounce attempt of 151.53 is a lower high. And the next support we're looking at on the weekly chart, 147.50. That's a key level. If we lose 147.50, we're then looking down to 142.50 or 142.25. Hourly RSI back to oversold. All bear, all pre-market. HON. Daily chart still favors the bulls as the bulls are battling the last 3 days to maintain the daily middle Bollinger Band. It's the kind of setup where I would be cautious of a head and shoulders pattern, but as long as 162.85 holds, the bulls are in control. It's pretty much a double bottom on the daily. 162.85, 162.88. So that is the most important level of support. We had a strong close yesterday. Bulls want to break 165 and 165.69 to shift that momentum back in favor of the bulls, keep that daily middle Bollinger Band, and keep that double bottom of support over the last couple weeks. It is a nice bear setup if we do break that level, that double bottom at 162.85, but the bulls do have short-term momentum after a green day yesterday. PAT.V. Bulls in full control of the uptrend on the daily time frame. Some profit taking yesterday, but the hourly uptrend is still intact. Bulls want to hold 210. If we lose it, we look down to 207. And if we break 207, that tells us daily consolidation is going on. And it would be healthy as long as we hold 193 as the daily high or low. And we could be seeing an hourly equilibrium if the bulls show up this morning and cannot break 222. We'll have a tightening hourly range. Pretty much the range into this morning, 210 support, 222 resistance. And if the bulls do show up and break 222, the next resistance on the weekly time frame is up at 242. Checking in on Canadian MJ at the open. CGC giving back its morning strength. ACBFF positioned to open pretty much where we closed yesterday. That could easily change, though, in the next couple minutes. A little bit of a lower open on ACBFF. So high of yesterday is going to be key resistance on ACBFF, 1050 first thing. And hourly higher low of support, we're looking down at 1020 key support. So I would be looking, normally I only look at ACB levels to trade, but today I would be looking at ACBFF levels if I'm trading ACB. And that's because we have more information and more details. So that goes for all Canadian MJ today. Watch the US tickers as well because of the more data that we have with yesterday's trading action. So checking out SPY this morning and the 5-minute time frame, are we extended? It's going to be an interesting setup. I could absolutely see us setting a lower high this morning compared to 288.22 and continue to tighten up through the morning. We're still almost $1 below that resistance. And I will be patient this morning. And watching SQ with the gap down open for a potential bounce as well. Well, this is nice. Got all this time and can breathe and get ready for the morning. CGC 5-minute oversold would be a great entry or a great first signal, and it looks like we are setting up that way. So completely gave back the pre-market strength. And if we were to flush down under $50, that 5-minute RSI is going to be getting oversold. MDA BTC is going nuts for 3 days in a row. Huge 3-day move. That's definitely news related. Changing the weekly trend in a big way there. I'm looking at MDA USD resistance 142.6 key level. But we are breaking the weekly trend, bullish. And everybody in the crypto space is hoping that that is a glimpse into the future. So there's CGC dumping now. We're going to start the morning with 5-minute oversold RSI. So interesting weakness on CGC first thing. And CGC support from here is down at, there's a level at 50 or 49.84, which we just broke. There's a lack of hourly support here. Next level is 48.10. Usually we don't see this much volume pre-market. So this is interesting. Something's going on. So gold on the 4-hour time frame, confirming that higher low is established. So a tightening range on gold. And keep an eye on JNUG and NUGT daily charts. They are really nice equilibriums heading into the end of this week. Might get the break first thing next week. Interesting, ACBFF is having a lower open here, down 2%. And all the Canadian names are up a significant percentage because they missed yesterday. So CGC support now is 49.77. Good amount of red on the screen. It's the financial sector that is weaker than the tech sector first thing. Only green names that stand out: CMG, Facebook, Tesla, and Twitter. Apple's break even. Here's a lower pre-market test on CGC. And that low broke. So the 5-minute RSI is now 24 on CGC. So I'm getting ready to make an entry here. So I just made an initial entry in CGC. $49.51 was my average. That's a good one. And I'm out at 50. So there's a day maker, 50 cents. Probably going to see some bounce follow through, but that was a very nice quick move that I'm going to lock in every time. So checking in on SPY. So that was nice. I mean, that game plan went perfectly. I mean, that game plan was established yesterday in the video I went over with CGC, talking about the dip first thing and buying the dip. And it was just a gift at the 5-minute RSI and made it easy to be confident. SPY support on the 5-minute time frame, I'm looking at 287.13. Bulls want to maintain that level. I will be looking for signs for weakness as well. I mean, this hourly tightening range can definitely break in either direction. I might make a re-entry in CGC if it gives me another bottom fishing play. Just entered another position on CGC with the new low. CGC 5-minute RSI definitely crushed with that new low, down to 23 still. And out again. That was 49.44 to 49.70. Apple is definitely standing out as one of the lead tech bulls because it broke the hourly lower highs yesterday and is definitely showing some of the most strength today. The tech sector is now green. Tesla bulls are seeing follow through on its oversold bounce. So checking in on all these tech names now. Facebook, most bullish break. Look at that Facebook hourly chart. Huge follow through. Amazon still has not broken its high of Friday's afternoon bounce, 1879. Facebook, next resistance, we're breaking multiple levels here. Next resistance is 160.90. All Facebook bulls first thing. Netflix, bull break as well, breaking the high of that Friday move. I'm going to be scouting a potential Facebook short as it's so extended. Patiently waiting for signs that the bulls are getting a bit tired. $160 psychological resistance test. Battle for 160 on Facebook. I'm waiting. So we did get a bull break over that level. Still patiently waiting. Just entered an initial bearish position on Facebook in the low 160s. I would add to it if we saw continuation without any pullback from here, but I'm just looking to flip it. Some wide bid and ask spreads with all the volatility first thing this morning. So lots of green on the screen very quickly thanks to the tech sector picking things up. Still no real follow through on the CGC bounce. Up a nice percent from the low, but again, lack of continuation on that bounce to give the bulls any comfort. So Facebook back towards testing the high. Will add one time to my short on a break of 160.50. Otherwise, I'm just patiently waiting. SQ bulls showing up with the market strength. Facebook 5-minute RSI is 83. The 2-minute RSI is 90. So SQ, nice strong start, breaking all pre-market resistances. High of yesterday's bounce, 87.11, has not broken yet. 87.11 is the key resistance level. TSG has to break 22.94 to change the hourly trend, and the low of the day is support. And I'm taking initial profit on half my position of the Facebook short. And that's perfect pullback on Facebook. So that's exactly what we were looking for with the very overextended 2-minute time frame. And locked in the second half. So I'm all out of the Facebook short. 50-cent average just about. So Twitter on the daily, key resistance to break was 29.19 or 29.12. We broke it by 2 pennies. Need more convincing follow through. There's that bounce on CGC getting its follow through. Key resistance at 50.24 right now on CGC. Still weakness. That 5-minute RSI is still 27. Let's see what the 2 minutes telling us. Support on CGC is 49.48 on the 2 minute. So I've already made 3 trades first thing this morning, and I'm going to be a lot more picky now from here. Very nice Facebook follow through. Now I can probably be looking for a bullish entry. Let's see what that 2 minute looks like. Potential for a Facebook little quick bullish entry, looking for a 2 minute higher low. So just entered Facebook 158.78. And out Facebook, so 158.78 to 159.15. CGC is testing the low of the day. That 5-minute RSI is still beat up, so I might go back over there. I will buy CGC if we get a new low of the day. Patient on CGC here, but I do have my finger on the trigger. 49 flush would be sweet. Just made my initial entry. A little bit of support was building there above 49, but still in play. We'll see if the bulls are able to hold that psychological level. The 5-minute RSI will be in the teens if we break 49 here. I'll get back to tickers here in just a second. Definitely still some selling pressure. CGC is not getting a lot of follow through on these bounce attempts. Facebook got that really nice follow through for the 2-minute higher low. Now we're looking for a 2-minute lower high on Facebook. And CGC does not look like it's done testing 49. Battle at low 49 support. 2-minute time frame. 50-20 is now key resistance on CGC. MFC. So MFC 20-period 5-minute moving average resistance rejecting the high of the day. Dump on the daily time frame. Now in oversold conditions, the daily lower Bollinger Band resistance of 1669 is pretty much the high of the day rejection. So daily lower Bollinger Band rejecting the price. And the bulls need a 5-minute higher low and then continuation for this oversold bounce to have follow through behind it. Facebook 2-minute lower high is set. LRXC is dumping. 5-minute RSI is down at 24 as CGC is testing 49 psychological support. And the next support on LRXC, nothing nearby. So it's just complete bears in control, falling knife, multiple year lows. 142 psychological. CGC, not surprising to see increased bear volume because, again, you have an entire country waking up to a however big percent gap up open. What was it, 5+%? People are going to take that profit. Amazon just barely broke the high of yesterday's bounce attempt. It's one of the least convincing out of the major tech names. And Netflix, much more convincing break. Need to establish clear 5-minute higher lows and higher highs and see continuation. SPY is definitely a bear break, so that might be our hourly lower high now. Key support is 286.34. Break 286.34 and the bears are right back in the driver's seat in this market. And then we'll look to the low of yesterday from there. So one thing I don't like about CGC is the slow grind down. We want to see fast flushes and V-shaped recoveries. This is a slow grind down, and the shorter term time frames likely seeing little bear flags cooling off RSI levels. The 5-minute is not, but the 2-minute time frame is. QQQ. Definitely too much of a pullback on the 5-minute time frame to be comfortable. That is not a convincing bull break. We broke it and then absolutely dumped. So red flag at this point on QQQ and the tech sector. We can't believe this break and follow through at this point. Lack of follow through. And again, it's still SPY. So SPY did not break bullish. I definitely want the market in the favor of whatever direction I'm looking on major names. And if SPY has not broken bullish and it's still in a tightening pattern, that means I'm being cautious even if the tech sector breaks bullish. And the financial sector is way weaker than the tech sector this morning. So I'm not acting, aside from that 2-minute scalp on Facebook, I'm not acting on these major names without clarity on the SPY hourly time frame. A little bit more bounce on CGC now. Not a fan of what CGC is doing right now as a bull, so I'm probably going to take my very small profit soon. Got in at 49.22 when we hit that new low of the day. So I'm definitely not going to let that go red again. There we go. A little bit more follow through. So I got my finger on the sell trigger for CGC. I'm about to take it soon. So locked that in. Got out at 54, 49.54. And now I'm definitely going to sit on my hands because it's pretty much been a perfect morning. I think 5 for 5 in the first 22 minutes means slow down. So it's all about SPY and the hourly for me. That'll help keep me patient, waiting on that SPY hourly break. Tesla bulls, nice follow through. They are the strongest bull. They were the weakest bull yesterday and finally catching up on their bounce now. So that was a pump fake on these tech names. They broke bullish, most of them. The market did not follow, and we saw some decent pullback from their initial bull move. Facebook did get a little 2-minute higher low and then continuation, so now we're looking at a 5-minute equilibrium on Facebook. PYX, nice follow through. Sell off first thing. Bulls establish support. Lack of resistance, so 51, and obviously the low of the day now is the absolute must-hold level. But 51 psychological resistance from here. Hourly chart still has not consolidated, RSI of 90. LLY, sell-off first thing, hourly time frame. 114.83, 114.77, supports broke. The hourly uptrend has been lost. That's the first indication of daily consolidation. Now we're watching the daily upper Bollinger Band close below 114.78, loses that for the first time in 4 days. And we're going to look for a healthy daily consolidation, but it is a clear bear break first thing. So one of the clear setups is Facebook on the 5-minute time frame for that equilibrium. Very interesting, the amount the 5-minute sell-off that we saw on Netflix and Amazon, that big red candlestick, there's not a ton of volume behind it. I'm surprised that we dumped back that easily as the SPY bulls are ripping right back towards the high of the day. So we definitely have volatility first thing. And CGC might be getting a little bit of help from SPY here on this move. Definitely want to keep that a factor in mind. NVDA, double bottom low of the day held. And we're setting up for a 5-minute equilibrium. We're going to look for a lower high compared to 268.76. We have a daily inside bar forming, so tightening ranges on multiple time frames. Oh, I missed that GE short. GE hourly time frame was telling us that pullback was likely. And breaking the low of pre-market was confirmation. CGC resistance, we just got a top on this bounce attempt at 49.67. So coming up to test that resistance again. SBUX. Wait, MVDA, the higher low is compared to the low of the day. 263.11, 263.18, double bottom. SBUX All Bull. Let's see the 2-minute. If that's extended, it's a potential short candidate. We did consolidate at 57.94, but we're extremely overbought. The 5-minute RSI is 89. Hourly RSI is 87. And breakout mode on the daily. Next weekly resistance is 59.45. So 59 psychological is next. You can see these CGC bounces are not giving confidence to the bulls. We're not getting much follow through at this point. Twitter high of the day. Want to get some continuation there for the bulls. Big time turnaround for SPY. Right back to the high of the day. Potential top fishing play. 287.74 is a double top right now. Risking about 5 cents. Nice recovery by Facebook. PayPal higher low on the 5-minute, 80.73. And I don't see a double top on PayPal. There's definitely continued arbitrage going on between CGC and WEED this morning. So everybody has inverted head and shoulders on the hourly. Question is, can SPY follow through? And if it can, a lot of these tech names are ready to go with it. Still battling the high of the day on SPY. Facebook is definitely the lead tech bull this morning, and it doesn't have a new high of the day yet. It's testing it, 160.48, 160.43. So just like SPY is testing the high of the day, Facebook is as well. Amazon still has some work to recover. Amazon's a 5-minute equilibrium. Netflix 5-minute equilibrium. Apple's setting up for a 5-minute equilibrium, as is Google. So Facebook's standing out, but it does need to break that high of the day, which it still has not yet. Facebook, a more convincing new high of the day. And now back to SPY. It's all about, I might have just said Facebook, but I meant SPY. But SPY's key resistance now, 288.22, 288.36. Still work to do, or we are still in the tightening pattern if those levels do not break. Back to the low of the day for CGC. 5-minute RSI still oversold. New resistance, 49.67. Double bottom low of the day for CGC, 49.01, 49.02. We'll see if that level can hold now. Potential bottom fishing level. Nice bull break on Twitter. That's the convincing follow through. Interesting that QQQ has a new high of the day, but most individual tech names do not. Man, Starbucks still has not consolidated. potential to watch the 2-minute uptrend. I almost just took a short on Starbucks, but I'd rather be more cautious and wait for a loss of the 2-minute uptrend. So individual tech names, they're getting back to their highs. Facebook just broke it, so Facebook first to break to continuation. Google is the furthest away from the high of the day. Apple is second furthest away. If I had to rank them right now on the 5-minute time frame, it goes Facebook, Netflix, Amazon, Apple, Google. SPY's coming up to its key resistance to try and change this trend, confirm the inverse head and shoulders. Looks like that Starbucks short would have nailed the top. That's all right. Bear break on CGC, so losing that support at 49 even. 5-minute RSI back down to 24. 15-minute RSI is oversold. Getting interested in another position again. So just made an entry in the 49 or 48.60s. And out CGC 48.69 to 49. Yes, you can use level 2 or depth charts for support levels. Just be aware that that support level can disappear. They can pull that order. But I've definitely done that before. And right now, if I were not live, I would be closing my computer and getting off of it in terms of 6 for 6 this morning, not wanting to give anything back, perfectly content. CMG trying to see continuation on its bounce on the daily time frame. The high of yesterday was a double top at 455, and we did break those levels. HEXO.TO. Looking for a lower high on the daily compared to 904, and we topped out today at 880. That might be our daily lower high. 852 is support, and if that breaks, we look to 821. And we might see a daily tightening equilibrium into next week if we get further pullback from here. Lots of profit taking from that first 5-minute candlestick this morning. Twitter certainly got some volatility. Key support on the 5-minute is 28.84. So CGC needs to change the trend on the 2-minute time frame. Anything under 49.62 is a lower high on this bounce. Currently, this bounce is topping out at 49.17. So we need to form a higher low compared to 48.61, the low of the day, and then change the 2-minute trend. Once we change the 2-minute trend, I'll zoom out to the 5-minute time frame, which will still be in a downtrend at that point, and we'll take it from there on the 5-minute. But again, it is clearly just a lack of follow-through at this point on any of these bounces as we continue to see CGC drop and WEED reach this equilibrium, so to speak, because of the lack of Canadian trading yesterday. SPY did not break hourly resistance. Clear rejection. Still fine on the 5-minute time frame. We are going to look for a 5-minute higher low to form. But we definitely need hourly continuation. Tesla up, still strong, up at the highs. Starbucks is a 2-minute equilibrium forming, tightening up significantly. WMT on the hourly is a clear breakout. Next resistance level is 96.52, but we're also very extended on the hourly as well. Well, RSI is not extended, but the price action certainly is with the gap up open. So CGC bulls need to break 49.17, and then we're looking up in the 49.60s. Netflix trying to take the lead over Facebook in terms of lead tech bull. Amazon's a beautiful 5-minute equilibrium, as is Google. Google's a little bit weaker than Amazon. Amazon favors the bulls, Google favors the bears, but they will likely break in the same direction. And Apple, 5-minute equilibrium. So we could see that happening well in advance. So now that CGC has shifted the 2-minute time frame, I zoom out to the 5-minute, and I can say that anything under 49.67 is a 5-minute lower high, and then we'll need the higher low and then break of the lower highs like we just saw on the 2-minute time frame to happen on the 5-minute time frame for any bounce follow through. Bulls definitely want to see some bull volume pick it up as well. All right, V.V, significant bull break. Let's see if we're finally changing the trend here. Nope. Hourly, anything under 585 is a lower high. This is the most notable bull volume that we've seen in the last 5 days. Keep that in mind. But still not doing it on the hourly yet. Worth watching because of that bull volume. Netflix has broken the high of yesterday, as has Facebook. PAT.V, higher low of 210, resistance of 222. We broke 222 resistance, so continuation on that move. And the 5-minute higher low pattern, bulls need to hold 217 to keep it alive here. So still a weak bounce on CGC, but if you look at the 15-minute chart, due to the sell-off that we saw pre-market and into the open, we're hitting oversold on the 15-minute time frame. We just need a 5-minute trend change. I'm still looking bullish for today. For any SPXS entries, it's going to be top fishing 288.36 resistance. That's the only bear play on SPY right now, as the SPY bulls are in control and heading up to key resistance, trying to change the hourly trend. So SPY new 5-minute support is 287.49. Checking in on the financial sector. We're going to need a new high of the day for the financial. We're going to need a new high of the day in the financial sector for SPY to break its hourly resistance, in my opinion. Tech sector has a 5-minute equilibrium, at least XLK does. QQQ. Potential 5-minute head and shoulders on QQQ we need to be aware of. So RIV.V, that volume pushing the price, breaking the hourly downtrend. So the bounce is definitely underway. 6 and 611 are next. Watch this 5-minute Amazon pattern. So 5-minute equilibriums are out there in these tech sector names. Google broke bearish. Had that bear lean. And Apple's about to break bullish. So individual differences. Nice follow through on the CGC bounce now. So changing the 2-minute trend was the first signal. Now we're still watching 49.67, and anything under that's a lower high. CGC trying to make its way to test that 5-minute resistance. SQ's got a nice 5-minute equilibrium, very similar to Amazon. Tesla 5-minute high or low is 257.47. Lose that momentum, and we're going to pull back on the hourly. Or lose that high or low pattern, I should say. So 261.06 resistance, 257.47 support. AMRN dump had a 5-minute equilibrium with beautiful bearish follow through on that break. Daily 15.02 is support. Hourly is about to be oversold. Next support on the hourly is 17.80, which broke. 16.56 is the next level after that. Inside bar bear break yesterday indicated the start of consolidation, and actually it was looks like we had a fake out yesterday with a bull break and then a bear break. But the bottom line is losing the hourly uptrend has led to a significant amount of bearish follow through. Nice CGC follow through, bulls picking it up significantly. Lots of shares at 49.75 on the ask. Might put a stop to the momentum for now, as that was a lot of shares at 49.75. But this has clearly shifted momentum enough that we will look for a 5-minute high or low when we do consolidate from here. And we just broke 49.75, so that resistance is gone. So now, looking at the CGC 15-minute chart, we're going to look for a lower high here. CGC support on the 2-minute time frame, it's 48.99, and we haven't established a 5-minute support since the low of the day. So we do need a 5-minute high or low. Amazon bull break of the equilibrium. Didn't break the high of the day, though. So a lack of follow-through and confirmation because we rejected from the high of the day, worth being aware of. SQ has not broken its pattern, and SPY is on the verge of testing these key resistances on the hourly time frame. Twitter is a potential 5-minute head and shoulders pattern, as was QQQ, but you can see QQQ never formed that right shoulder, just continued the 5-minute uptrend. So SPY clear new 5-minute support, 287.49. That's an important level. Twitter's a tech company, and QQQ is pretty much the tech sector. Nice continuation for WMT. Starbucks 2-minute time frame broke bearish, so I zoom out to the 5-minute. Support is 58.45. SPY bulls breaking initial resistance. Now it's just 288.36. Next level after that, 290.27. The hourly time frame the last 4 days has been a gift in these markets because there haven't been any fake outs. It's been very clear. So SPY is looking good. Still one more level to break to be convinced. I'm going to wrap it up here. I got to run out and do an errand, so it's going to be more than 10 minutes before I'm back in the chat room. Probably about 25 or so. And then we'll keep it going from there. So I hope you all have a good rest of your morning. Tomorrow I'm moving. I'll be on in the morning. And I believe Jason will do the afternoon live stream tomorrow. So I'll see you in about a half an hour.